Hello and welcome back again to another episode of the HIV Cure. And this week we are talking to a group of young people, well, not just young people, but they're also scientists at the Persaud Lab. If you have followed me long enough, and if you watched last year's video from Croyd, you did see me interview Dr. Debbie Persaud, who actually was unpacked to us about the Mississippi baby, and basically that is to deal with HIV cure for pediatrics and how the Mississippi baby opened the door for us to be able to advance science into the reality of pediatric HIV cure. So today I have some fellows from her lab, and there is going to be slightly long, so I'm going to need you to go and wash utensils as you walk around with your headphones on, with your earphones on, with your AirPods on, as you listen to this particular group of scientists and the work that they do and what they're hopeful for and why they do the work that they do and where they are advancing the HIV cure for us. Because again, I do believe that in this lifetime we are getting a HIV cure. So this is also going to be our last video in this HIV cure series, but not our very last. It's just for this particular one, and we do continue to have conversations for a HIV cure on my social media platforms, so continue following me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment as you get to learn something new on this YouTube channel.
Hello everyone, my name is Tang Dumakupt. We're all researchers in the lab of Dr. Debbie Persaud, and I'm a research faculty associate.
Hi, my name is Emily Liang, and I am a third-year PhD student.
Hi, my name is Kristen Kelly, and I'm a fifth-year PhD student.
My name is Samia Becca, and I am also a fifth-year PhD student. I think research into broadly neutralizing antibodies is allowing children living with HIV in these low resource settings to have other options for treatment. I think having options that are longer lasting, that allows them to be able to minimize the amount of medications that they have to travel to get, that could be just more difficult in these low resource settings, I think.
And of course, art is wonderful, and it is very effective at keeping people healthy in children and in adults. But there could be problems, especially due to some resource constrained settings, especially for parents to be able to give art and monitor in children. That can be an area that can be improved using the cure research, where we can hopefully be able to provide alternative therapies that will complement art and allow for perhaps art-free remission and target the virus that is able to hide even during art. I think it's really important for us to look at the pediatric space and in children and those living with perinatal HRV as a unique population, right? So children, infants, they're very different from adults. The immune system is very different. When HIV is in infants, it behaves differently than what you see in adults. And so when we create cures, I think it's important to not start with adults and see that transfer to children, but start knowing that there are cures that may be more effective in children, and develop clinical trials along with the community specifically targeting this very unique population.
It's a growing population as therapy is getting more and more effective too. And we've always been behind in the clinical trials, like Tang has said, in the BNABs or other vaccine trials. The children are always years behind. And so by the time we even get the research understood in adults, we haven't even started it in children. So I think it's a really important population to focus on and to invest in.
We all understand that, and kind of Tang touched on it, but children aren't tiny adults, so we have to treat them as this unique population. And I think especially emphasized with the P1115 clinical trial and the Mississippi baby, infants and children living with HIV, we have a very unique opportunity to be able to initiate art very early in life and see how that could potentially afford them remission and cure later on in life because of this, because of the timing of infection and the smaller reservoirs that they have. We have a lot of opportunity to really, push the field, I think, in children, that I think would be able to give us a lot of answers that could then be applied in adults as well. I researched the clinical trial P1115. It is a clinical trial that was modeled after the success of the Mississippi baby. So this was a child in 2013 that was first reported to have undetectable viral load after 2 years of no ART. This was a child that was lost to follow-up, so when they returned to treatment, they found that despite not being on ART, they had undetectable viral loads.
What was unique about the Mississippi baby is that ART was started very early, within just a few hours of life. Now, back then, there hasn't been enough data to show whether that was a good idea or not, just because of complications with treatment, and partially because of this unique case, and then further cases, specifically P1115, showing that ART started at within 48 hours of life can be very beneficial.
And so that case was what inspired the clinical trial of P1115, and it was trying to recreate the success of the Mississippi baby and see if starting ART within 48 hours of life, if that could potentially afford ART-free remission. And so this was a trial that was done in, I believe, 11 countries, 30 sites, and it had, for the first version of it, 34 or 54 children who were enrolled. Deborah Persaud did present on this at CROI 2024 on the success with 4 remission cases that we did see.
My lab research is really focused on a different impact clinical trial, Impact 2008, where they were investigating whether adding a broadly neutralizing antibody to standard therapy could help clear some of these cells that have HIV hiding inside of them, especially when you're suppressed. And so understanding how adding broadly neutralizing antibodies as an immunotherapeutic can give us a better idea of just how we can, kind of like what Tang was saying earlier, how we can complement standard ART to really help minimize the reservoir of cells that can have HIV reactivating, especially if we want to move towards ART-free remission. I think just adding a lot of support and just really having someone to explain and walk them through the entire process is super important, especially in these, even in the field sometimes, really understanding what these immunotherapeutics are and what they do. I think just adding more people to support
Scientific risk and protection of children. I think that, well, I don't personally research cure trials, but I think that you have to make sure that you're maintaining the safety and the efficacy of whatever therapeutic you're putting into children, especially infants, in the Impact P1115 trial. But there is a need, for having ART interruptions. I know that's a big conversation of whether that's really needed at this point. And I think it has a place in the field, because you have to know how well very early ART or a BNAB is actually working on the reservoir, and then that can inform us to the larger population.
Balancing scientific research and risk. I think going off of what Emily said, a lot of this has to go back to shared decision making with the community. I think one of the most rewarding parts of being a part of the Martin Delaney Collaboratory PAVE, so Pediatric Adolescent Viral Elimination, which is headed by Debbie Persaud and Ann Cheruti. We get to, see the community members and our CAB and all of the work that they're doing. And I feel like that is really beneficial for us as scientists as well. I think humanizing and recognizing the responsibility that we have as scientists is really important, and then making sure that with every project that we're doing, the community is in mind. We're doing all of this for people living with HIV. It's not just for us to get recognition. It's to make sure that we are making people living with HIV their lives better, and that our research is always shaped by them.
Yeah, and I would go even further to say that I think an emphasis has been put on us not to only have the community members be at the table, but actually be part of the trial design, be actually cooks in the kitchen. And so it's not just important for communication with those who are affected, the parents, the children, but also, they need to be part of helping us understand what the needs are and, have a dialogue to help them design these trials, not just us doing it and then coming to them. Well, there's a lot of exciting research being done right now, and even, not only in the cure field, but in research that maybe complements the cure. Of course, lenacapavir and long-lasting antiretrovirals is going to be really important to be able to maintain people in a healthy way, to be able to suppress the virus, and that'll make it, an opportunity for us to target the virus that is perhaps still hiding, even as the advances to other therapies and arts and antibodies are occurring.
In the next 3 to 5 years, I'm very excited that we're going to get a lot more research from our lab, and there's a couple other labs in that population, because maybe they missed the moment to be enrolled when they're younger, or start therapy very early, and so they're distinct from the infants who got to be in these trials too. So I think more needs to be done, but I'm really excited about what we can understand and the different cure strategies that can be designed for them, different from adults and also different from children's.
My cohort of infants, as well as Tamia's cohort, they're also kind of entering that lifetime survivor demographic now. So I think it's very exciting to see, as these kids who are growing, who were enrolled in these early clinical trials where they were given really early ART, where they were given a broadly neutralizing antibody, how that looks as they continue to grow, especially as they enter adolescence, what that looks like. I think just better understanding the outcomes of previously completed clinical trials, and potentially some of them may be enrolled in current ongoing clinical trials, seeing the findings of that, especially since for my cohort, they only received one BNAB. There's a lot of interesting work in the field looking at combination broadly neutralizing antibody therapy and how that might be even better at clearing these reservoir of hiding virus. There's a lot of really interesting and exciting clinical research going on as well. And I think as these kids grow older, just a lot of new research to be done as well.
Yeah, and I discussed the clinical trial P1115, but a lot of other clinical trials have also modeled the very early treatment. So the early infant treatment study and the baby cure study in South Africa, we're seeing what the effect is of starting ART within 48 hours of life. And then I think we're going to have research that is going to be needed to show support for them as they age.
They are the reason we do this. I mean, none of our work would be possible without their generous donations. Everything that we do is in service of giving people better lives, giving people the option or the chance to maybe be part of a trial that one day will allow us to have HIV cure.
The short and sweet of it would be kind of like what Tang was saying, we can't do our work without you. So it really is a group effort. It's the scientists as well as the community together. That's really the only way that we can get this research done. And we all care about being able to help you, I guess, enter an era where art-free remission is a possibility. And I feel it's just amazing to be part of the community.
As the years go by, and especially as the young scientists, as we get older and enter into the field, I've been very fortunate to talk with people living with perinatal HIV growing up, and seeing firsthand experience what that's like. So that's been really very cherished for me, especially as a young investor, young scientist, hoping to continue this for a long time.
My message would be that the community is at the forefront of my mind, and I feel like it is an honor to be able to do this work, and I hope that all of our work is able to help the community have a better life and these children have a better life.
The perfect world is that we have dozens of options and every single person can step up to their provider, and we can figure out, okay, this isn't really working, let's try this. But we have so many options available in our toolkit.
And I know we've talked a lot about art-free remission and cure, and that's what our lab is focused on, but we have heard from community members who that is not necessarily what they're particularly interested in. Living with HIV is a part of their identity, and I think, like Kristen said, having the option where they can choose what they want. If a cure is what they want, if that is the, the life path that they want to go down, or if it is, treatment, they're happy with the drugs that they're on, or a BNAB, something long lasting. I think that's where, having those options, I think that would be the most, perfect world that we could have.
But yeah, I think just really the emphasis on options, like giving the community their choice. I feel like, especially just with everything that's going on in the field, there's so much exciting development, and also just making that accessible to everyone. If there was like no boundaries, no barriers, no worry about money or anything, it's like so that it's easy and accessible and that everyone can make that same choice.
Yeah, that was great. I was going to mention accessibility, but you guys knocked it out of the park.